Howdy Tabletop RPG fans, I'm Wrangleme, Grand Poobah of Game Design, and today's topic is Make RPGs Funny. And now for something completely different. Why be funny? Human nature. People start believing that they want to be serious and that their adventuring troupe will have excellent role-playing and epic adventures. The reality is that staying serious 100% for several hours a session and dozens of sessions per year is very hard. Life is already hard, so coming to a gaming night sometimes is just a chance to blow off some anxiety you built up on your daily grind. Somebody says something not safe for work, drops a "that's what she said," or quotes Monty Python while in character, "Help, help, I'm being repressed," and now the table is laughing. Then the DM speaks in a goofy voice and the players fall in love with the silly NPC. It is actually easier for players to set up jokes and prank at the game table than it is for players to be 100% serious for hours. It also turns out that we use far more of our brain and satisfy many more of our happy chemicals when we are funny. Theories of humor. The idea of comedy and tragedy is ancient. A lot of unfunny philosophers have had much to say about humor. Plato and Aristotle both had theories of humor related to superiority and the elevation over others. Sigmund Freud believed in humor as a form of emotional release. Mel Brooks would agree with Plato and Aristotle when he says, "Tragedy is when I cut my finger, comedy is when you fall down an open manhole cover and die." Immanuel Kant and many others believed in the incongruity theory of humor, or derailed expectations. Benign violation theory, a theory of humor by Peter McGraw. Like the incongruity theory, a refinement is when you combine something benign with a perceived violation. This incorporates the other theories and makes it easier to understand. Tickling someone can be perceived as a violation, and yet the result is benign. There can be a fine line between funny and offensive. Control versus consequence. Many years ago at a GDC talk, I learned this theory of drama. Two axes separate the various forms of drama. Vertical is more consequence versus less consequence. Horizontal is less control versus more control. When the characters have more control, the tone becomes tragedy or romance, depending on the consequences, death or happily ever after. When the characters have less control, the tone becomes horror or comedy, depending on the consequences, death or benign failure. Most players will tell you that they don't like losing control, but that is wrong. I enjoy having a good scare and I enjoy having a good laugh, so I tend to play comedy or horror RPGs. This is closely related to the release theory. RPGs that are funny. Toon has specific funny game mechanics, rewarding experience for playing your beliefs and goals, replacing death with falling down for 3 minutes. The goal is not to accomplish epic things, but to have fun being silly. Teenagers from Outer Space combines a highly simplified rules system with the sensibilities of teenage high school drama and outrageous anime situations. Kobolds Ate My Baby is a reverse dungeon situation where you play kobolds trying to do what your kobold bus tells you to do. Combine this with the outrageous kobold death charts and the silly social game rules like All Hail King Torg, and you have a fun party RPG. Rhesus encourages creativity, juxtaposition, and taking risks over min-maxing and normal RPG goals. RPG settings that are funny. Murphy's World is a setting where almost any RPG can thrive in chaos, anachronism, and absurdity. Hole, or Human-Occupied Landfill, is a setting that explores the shady depths of dark comedy in an insane gonzo world. Make your setting funny. Introduce anachronisms, strange, odd, and chaotic. Use incongruity and benign violations to mix up players' expectations. This is a map from Princess Bride. Make your NPCs funny. Bad guys are extremely goofy. Give your NPCs weird names, convoluted schemes, silly motivations, easily exploited flaws, and finally use outrageous accents and funny voices. This GIF is from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Make your game mechanics funny. Start with simple rules-light games or reduce your complex RPG to starter rules. Reduce the consequences by making death harder. Reduce risk by making failure as interesting as success. Reduce min-maxing behavior and optimal builds by making character generation more random and swingier. Reward player characters for taking bold chances, being funny, and exposing their flaws to earn new levels of progress. Let gameplay be about slapstick action and silly encounters instead of strategy and tactics. Keep the pace moving at breakneck speed. Gifts from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I've enjoyed a 4-decade-long career in game design making funny games. Sure, I've had to work on some games that weren't particularly humorous, but I've always found a way to make people laugh, which is why I self-publish smaller, faster, funnier role-playing games now. Thank you all for watching this episode. Hit like, subscribe, or ring the bell, or Booger will get you. If you want to see more videos like this, go to hopspush.com and buy an RPG or t-shirt. Do good, annoy evil, and bye-bye.